Monday morning in St. George, Utah. Swim, bike, and run, and breakfast with Bob.
Thank you, Poncho Man. Welcome everybody back to Breakfast with Bob, St. George edition. My name is Bob Babbitt. We're brought to you by Master Spa, Zions Bank, Quintana Room, Forum, Smart Swim Goggles, Clash Endurance, Premium Plus Sports, and of course our Challenged Athletes Foundation. A young man who's ranked number 10 in the world right now, Mr. Florian Angert, joins us. How you doing, Florian?
Hi, fine. Thanks for the invitation, and I'm happy to be here.
It's our first time getting to chat together.
That's true, yeah.
Thank you so much for doing it, and give me a little background. Growing up, what were your sports?
Actually, I'm a former competitive swimmer. I started swimming when I was 6 years old, and because my mom used to swim, and she brought me to that, and I think I swam till I was 20 years old.
Oh, till you were 20. So the goal was Olympics?
Not really. I was on the edge to do it professionally or semi. I was let's call it semi-professional.
So they have semi-professional swimmers.
I would call it like that. It's not it's not the official
Oh, it's not like you can make a living.
Yeah, no.
It's all okay.
You cannot compare German swimming to the swimming in the USA. So
okay.
I stopped swimming when I was 20 years old, and then switched to triathlon, and stick to that.
And here we are.
Yeah, here we are.
Here we are. I love that. And so that was 20, and now you're 30.
Yeah.
And when did you start training as a triathlete? When did you know that, okay, I think I could be pretty good at this?
Actually, maybe after the first year. I started, my first triathlon was actually an Olympic distance race. Yeah. So I didn't start with a sprint, but just straight into Olympic distance racing.
Yes.
And I think I was in the 6th or 7th start wave.
Yeah.
And only one guy caught me. From my start wave, I came 17th in the end. But after that, I knew that the swimming background helps a lot.
A ton.
I just love the training. I mean, I swam 10 years just in a pool, 25 or
looking at that black line all day long.
Just counting.
You get to look at the sky.
Yeah, exactly.
Talk to people.
I've been to a lot of nice places, but actually only saw the swimming pool. So, so I really loved training outside, seeing different parts of the region where I lived, and it was just amazing to do it, and I loved it, and as I said, I stick to it.
So as a guy who had that background as a swimmer, was the thought to go into ITU, or did you move more long distance right away?
I think it showed, I had the feeling that when I started triathlon that I'm also, of course, I was a good swimmer. Right. But I also had a super good bike leg straight from the beginning. So I saw that my strength is definitely a swim bike. Now I think I'm getting there to also have the run strength. But so I tried some ITU racing in German triathlon Bundesliga, but only 2 races actually, and I found out it's not the thing I want to do. No. So actually I always try to stick to the non-drafting thing.
It's a little more pure, right?
Exactly, and it played more into my strength.
So first pro season, 2017, and third championship Samoran, led the solo from the front, third. Then you won two 70.3 wins.
Yep.
That's a pretty cool debut.
That was in 2018, actually.
2018.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I was part of
the first pro season was 17. Then that happened in 18. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And then 2021. I'm looking at the most recent stuff. 7th here at St. George. So obviously you like this place.
I like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a nice place.
And Challenge Samarin, you win there, and then you get second in Mallorca.
True.
So that's a good season.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I raced here 70.3 St. George and stayed here to train to prepare for Ironman Tulsa.
Yes.
In those 2 races, I think I came 7th in both.
Right.
Were solid, but not actually the thing I wanted to achieve. And then I changed a little bit in training together with my coach, leading up to Samarin in Mallorca, and that I think played out quite well.
Oh, you think? Yeah.
Also got the Hawaii qualification in Mallorca, so it's the big goals for this year are clear, I think.
So you're qualified for Kona.
Yeah.
and you're racing here.
Exactly.
And when you look at Mallorca, what, a 46-minute swim and a 4:23 bike and a 2:43 marathon, so it goes sub 8 hours, it goes 7:57.
Yeah.
So obviously you and your coach clicked pretty quickly.
I think so, yeah.
What was the biggest change from what you were doing to what your new coach had you do?
I didn't change coaches. It's just like that we changed the training we did.
You adapted the training.
Actually I'm working with Philip Seib for like my whole pro career since January 2017.
2017.
It was just like adjustments in training we did leading up to Samorin in Mallorca, and I mean we're working now. I think it's the sixth year. So I think we know what to do, and we try to learn of our mistakes. So, and I think it's just like the long-term relationship we have that really helps. Like maybe not in a short term, not in a short term, but just a long-term perspective. And now I actually feel that it's like playing out. And
well, you were just third at 70.3 Lanzarote, and when you run 1:12 on that course, there's not much flat around there.
Oh, actually, a little bit flat, but not a lot. And also sharp turns, like 180-degree turns, and always up and down. And I mean, Lanzarote is like, it was a good race. I mean, that's, in my opinion, it's a bit of the problem that World Championships is in May, because it like this kind of destroys a little bit the European season.
Right.
Because there were not a lot of choices to race in Europe.
Right.
And Lanzarote was one of them, but actually I think it was a good preparation for the World Championships in St. George.
And the fact that you raced St. George last year gives you a sense of what this thing's all about. And you've been here, for a week or so?
Now I'm here for a week, or since 1 week. But the fact that I was training here like for 3 weeks last year just helped me a lot in preparation, because I know I knew what course it will be, and that helped a lot in training, just to get like the fine tuning.
Exactly. Now, you since you've been here, I'm sure you've ridden every part of this course now. How do you think this plays out? Because it's the bike course has 7,000 some feet of climbing, and then the run has 1,500 feet of climbing. And this suits someone like you.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a course for strong bikers, and obviously like strong runners, but you cannot really have a weakness on the bike, I think, because I think it's like more than 2,000 meters of climbing, and that's quite a lot. I think it's close to, or maybe it's even more than Lanzarote, I think, Ironman Lanzarote, at least similar. So it's definitely, it will be a tough course. I think weather will only play a role on the run, like the heat.
Yes.
But it will definitely be wind on the bike course. I think it just depends on how strong it is and from which direction, because it changes. It feels like it changes like
every minute.
Actually, I rode it like I rode every part, and you feel like, okay, this way is headwind, then it must be like a tailwind on the way back, and actually not. So, but it will be, as I said, like a strong race, a tough race, and it suits like the strong bikers, but. At the same time, you always have to remember, like, eat, drink, and just to pace yourself, because I think if you ride too hard in the beginning, then
you'll pay for it.
Yeah, you will definitely.
You got to come up Snow Canyon later.
Yeah, exactly. And that, it's not a pretty long. It's not a super long climb, but it can be long when you're tired and when you're
especially
don't have any power anymore.
When it's normally early in the race, that's one thing. But when it's later like that,
exactly,
people will there'll be some payback on that hill for people who went out too early. When I always look at races, when you're talking about this race, this is such a hard race that I look at people who they've done Lanzarote, they've been here before, they know hard, and they know that there's going to be low points and high points during that day, and how to deal with both.
Yeah, I think that's in fact that's always in Ironman racing.
Yes,
it's not you're always on a high, it's always an up and down. I think.
Right.
And depends a little bit on the situation, I think, where you are at what point in the race. But I think that course here is definitely something special, also for Ironman World Championships.
Yes, but you like that.
Of course.
This is challenging.
Yeah, of course it is. It is challenging, and I like those races, and especially I like races with strong fields, and that's what you expect of a World Championship race. So. And I think if you look at my results in the past, or the races I chose to race, there were always races with super strong fields. But of course, World Championship race is something different.
And I don't think we've had a non-German Ironman world champion since like 2013. Frederick van Leert.
Yeah, he's actually Belgium.
Yeah, no, I mean since Freddie.
Yes.
You go Sebi and you go Jan and you got Jan and then you got Patrick. So
exactly,
you got to keep it in the family, right?
Yeah, I think if my goal is like to be the best German at the end of the race, I think that the past showed that it was not that bad.
That is awesome. The rest of your season, obviously Kona in October.
Yeah.
Will you try to do 70.3 worlds back here as well?
Yeah, maybe I'm qualified. I qualified in Lanzarote this year, so I try. Actually, the first big goal was St. George, and now after the race, it's the next big goal will be Hawaii.
You're right.
And I will race some 70.3 and maybe a PTO, maybe
Collins
US
Cup
Open or
like
Collins Cup if I'm qualified. But yeah, I try definitely, like, it's all about Kona after St. George, and just to try to build around around that with 70.3 racing.
Do you feel you're more suited for the full than the 70.3?
Yeah, definitely.
I think
I think it's just that I have a quite good feeling for my body and just for how to pace myself. And that's definitely something which really really plays out in full distance racing. Right.
Obviously, you've been involved with racing for a while, and is there some of the German athletes that you followed before you got into racing yourself? So in terms of triathletes like Sebi and Jan and Patrick?
Yeah, I mean, Sebi and I, we share the same coach, so we also train together at home sometimes. And to be honest, it's a pity that Patrick and Jan are not racing, because I would have loved to race them on an Ironman like course, and especially World Championships, but hopefully there will be the chance in Hawaii. But it's just like, it's not that those are my idols, but you always try to look at the pros who are like on top of the game for certain years, and you can always learn something from them.
What have you learned from Sebi?
Just in terms of aerodynamics, bike setup, just to be like really looking into that and be precise about your equipment, and just try to avoid equipment failures or something like that. Just to look after your bike and that everything's perfect.
Be a professional. Sebi is the ultimate professional.
Exactly.
He's not going to the start line unless his shirt looks good.
I mean, you cannot start a race like a World Championship race or a race in general when you have like cuts in your tire or something, and then you puncture in the race, and then it's basically your own fault, and you cannot do that. I think, in my opinion, because that's what he said. We are professionals, and we try to get our living, living with that, and
So when you were swimming, was there a point where you were thinking, I want to be a pro in something, and I'm not going to the Olympics in swimming.
Yeah.
Maybe triathlon could be it. Or was it more, I'm sort of tired just looking at a black line, I want to do something different, and then, I'm pretty good at this.
Yeah, it was more like that. I finished school and then thought like, okay, I have the choice either like going for try to swim like on a professional level, or try something new, and then more like by coincidence I started triathlon and actually fell in love with it, and and then it came to a point where I said like, okay, it's now I got the choice. It's my second sport I do, and it's a second chance to the choice either doing it professionally or not. And as I thought, okay, how many chances you get in life to choose that you are that good in a sport that you can choose twice in your life doing it professionally or not. And then I said, okay, I try it, and if it's like it's not working like for 2 years, or I'm not good at it, then I can say after 2 years, okay, that it was good, it was a nice experience, but I'm done with that. But actually I'm sitting here now. So
you're sitting here because you're pretty damn good.
Yeah.
And the finish line behind us is where you're going to be on Saturday, and hopefully you'll be first German. Yeah. Which could be the top of the podium.
Maybe not. But we'll see. I mean, it's a strong field, and it's I'm a rookie at the World Championship race on long distance. So, but to be honest, I'm really looking forward to that.
I love it. Florian, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure. Poncho Man, take us out.
We're in St. George, Utah. We're going to swim, bike, and run, and have breakfast with Bob.
Thank you, Poncho Man. Thanks for tuning in, everybody.